I just don't have time to go get this revised right now. Like, I want to wait. We're not telling them, no, your doctor's wrong, try PT instead. But let's try some PT to give you some more comfort and maybe postpone it a little bit because you're pretty young.
I wish that I would have known some of these exercises before I had surgery.
Don't just assume that you have to be in pain until you're ready to go in for surgery. Welcome, everybody. This is Becky Pearson with Pearson Physical Therapy and Pivot Point Equine and Rider Rehab. And today I have the pleasure of being joined by Kerri Lemon. So we wanted to visit with Kerri today because Kerri is in a very unique situation in that she was having some hip pain, and her and I met when she came to the Phil Haugen horsemanship and barrel racing clinic that we hosted. And we got to talking afterwards and talking about her hip pain. And so, Kerri, take us through your process. Like, how long ago did you have your hip replacement, and what did that look like beforehand? And tell me a little bit about that whole process.
Well, it'll be 8 years in October. And before that, it'd been several years, been in pain, but, just lived with it, didn't worry about it until I was doing CrossFit with my son, doing really good. And then one day I couldn't even go up the stairs. I could not walk at all, lift my leg. So I went in and they injected it because I had to go up to Cody for a week thing for my son for his shooting stuff. So I was like, I got to be able to walk. So they did, and it lasted like 10 days is all. It helped me. That's it. And so I went back again, and then he sent me to the surgeon.
And so the doctor that you went to, he went with what they call posterior approach, right? He went in from the back. Was the pain different before and after surgery?
Well, I guess for like a couple, maybe months after I had it, it was a little better, but the pain still was in my groin. It still never went away. So finally, after 7 years of being in pain and thinking I just needed to live with it, I finally on a different insurance. So I went to a different facility where I wanted to go originally, but I couldn't because of my insurance.
Okay.
He looked at it and he's like, well, you can lose 100 pounds if you want to, but it's still going to hurt because he put the wrong size up over the ball. I don't know how that all works, but he says it's pinching. Every time I raise my leg, like when I go to get on my horse or do a straight leg lift when I'm trying to work out or something, I can't do it, and it pinches the psoas muscle. It rubs on it.
Mm-hmm. So then his solution was that you needed your hip revised, right?
Right. That or clip that muscle. And I was not really interested in that because I thought I'm going to lose strength and I need strength in that so I don't fall off my horse.
Yeah.
Not at all.
So you were having trouble when you and I met, you were having trouble getting your leg into your pickup. Were you having trouble going upstairs?
Yes.
Yep. Getting on your horse.
Oh, yes, because it's my left leg. I can get on with my right leg. But, get on the left side. I have to have a stool to get on. Yeah. And my horse is tall anyway, but.
Yeah. I use a stool too, but it's just because I have a very tall horse as well. And I'm 48 years old. I don't need to struggle. I don't have anything to prove.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So you and I started talking after the clinic got over on Sunday about the pain that you were having, and you were telling me a little bit about what this doctor had told you. And so I took a look at you, and Kerri is from Torrington, Wyoming. So she isn't just right here, which Torrington is about 4 hours, isn't it, from us?
Right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And so we were able to look at things. We actually looked at you in my barn. And so I appreciate you being flexible on that. And basically what I felt like your muscles weren't allowing your hip bone to ever get shifted to the backside of the joint because you had some tightness back there from the previous surgeries. And a lot of times people will have that tightness before they ever have surgery too. And then with the approach that they did with you, they going through the back, there is a risk for redislocating that hip because they basically have to dislocate it to replace it. And so a lot of doctors don't want you crossing your legs. They don't want you bending over to touch your toes or put your shoes on because they're worried about you redislocating. And so I think that also feeds into this pattern that continued to keep you in pain. And so we went through the assessment and we tried a few things. I didn't know for sure if it was going to help or not, but I thought it was going to be worth the try. And tell me, what did you think about the exercises, the process of doing that? Was it complicated? Was it weird?
Oh no, they're not complicated at all. They're super easy. And the one I use the most is probably while I'm driving.
Yes.
Have me do the one. And that one gets used a lot almost every time I drive because everywhere I drive is half an hour, 45 minutes at least, right? So
right.
I just do that, kind of make a game out of that one and do it at different road signs, driveways, whatever, switch my legs. So
good.
That way I'm not really thinking about it, just doing it.
Right. And it kind of does become a habit for people when they get into the vehicle to shift their hips and engage the inner thighs. And so you started noticing, even that evening, you started noticing a little bit of a difference in some things. Okay.
I did with the stretches just we did in the barn. And then that morning I did them again. And even yesterday, I was like, oh, my hip kind of aching, with the weather and all that stuff. Well, I did my stretches and it's like so much better. It only takes a couple minutes.
Good. And so now you are able to lift your leg into your pickup better.
It still hurts. It
painful.
Still pinches, but I can do it without having to grab my pant leg and lift it in. So, and I feel better riding. I can notice I can actually use my left leg instead of just kind of holding on for dear life.
The hope and pray method.
Exactly.
And it's been about a month, right? Yeah, just about a month, not quite.
I think a month,
yeah. So, well, that's awesome. Stairs, are they?
They're better since I'm doing that one stretch on the steps. That one, it is tough still to push myself back up, but walking up, I can do it now. I can lead with that leg a little bit more, and not have to step up with my right and then my left kind of can walk up. But it's not. I'm not going to be running any stairs, but at least I can do it a little easier.
Yeah,
I don't know if this is going to go save me from having to have that revised. I don't know. I'm hoping. I did cancel my appointment with the surgeon to schedule something in the fall, but I'm hoping I don't have to. But I don't know if it's going to take it away completely. But if it gets me through the summer, I'm good.
Yeah, and that's what your goal was when you and I talked, was like, you said, I just don't have time to go get this revised right now. Like, I want to wait. Because you felt like you lost last summer because your horse was having some problems and health issues. And so then you're like, now, dang it, now I'm having the health issues. And so I don't want to lose another summer of recuperating from this hip replacement. And so I'm like, well, let's go ahead and give it a shot. And that's, we're not telling people that, if their doctors have told them they need a hip replacement or a knee replacement or shoulder replacement, we're not telling them, no, your doctor's wrong, try PT instead. But let's try some PT to give you some more comfort and maybe postpone it a little bit because you're pretty young. And,
Right.
joint replacements are not meant to last forever. And so, even if somebody is young like yourself and they want to wait a little bit to have that joint hopefully last them the rest of their life, that's our goal with this, is just give you more comfort while you're trying to live your life, and maybe get it to where it's a little bit more of a convenient time. I don't know if there ever is, but
No.
give you some more comfort in the meantime. So
Right. Well, I wish I would have asked you before the clinic because then it would have probably worked to help me ride better there. But also, I wish that I would have known some of these exercises before I had surgery.
sure, yeah,
And it's possible I may not have had to have it. I don't know.
it you'll never know. And the best we can do is to try to keep the muscles balanced right now and keep your right hip in good shape, so doing this stuff on the other hip is, if you can, I think hopefully that'll help that as well. And the other thing, I think, advice that I would give people is, don't just ignore the pain and think that you have to live through it. Because, if somebody does tell you, if a doctor does tell you, well, you do need hip replacement, but you're not quite ready, don't just assume that you have to be in pain until you're ready to go in for surgery. Because a lot of times those surgeons, they're doing what they know how to do, is surgery. And having that conversation with your surgeon of, well, can I try physical therapy to see if that will give me some pain relief? Hopefully he's like, yes, go ahead and try, and even if they aren't very supportive, a lot of times they don't quite know what all we can do in physical therapy. And so visiting with a physical therapist about it can give you a better idea if you're a good candidate or not. And sometimes it's just a matter of trying it and seeing if it does work for you. So
Yeah, I look back and I sure wish I would have tried it before.
yeah,
But oh well.
yeah,
Hindsight's
yeah,
2020. So
exactly. So do you have any words of advice for anybody that's in the same situation as you, that that you would tell people?
get a second opinion. Get a second opinion and get a good physical therapist. I spent all this money doing therapy and doing everything for my horses, but of course we put ourselves on the back burner.
Yeah.
Try to keep yourself in good shape.
Yeah, and that's, we all have different approaches. We all have different training that we use. And a lot of the stuff that I use is not, I didn't invent it. I wasn't the one to come up with this stuff, but I've had some different training than a lot of PTs do. And, if somebody is watching this from a distance, obviously you and I met in person. And so we do have online like videos and handouts and stuff for people. And so that is an option if you feel like, you want to give this a try. Your physical therapist or your doctor hasn't helped yet. I'm not saying this is totally going to take care of your pain, but it is a little different approach than what most people go through with standard physical therapy. And so we'd be happy to visit with people telehealth and conference calling kind of stuff and see what we can do from a distance. Or if you're able to travel to central Nebraska, I do have people that do come in. I've had them come in from South Dakota, from Kansas, from Colorado, and they've done a consult with me here in the clinic, and then we do stuff over telehealth type of things. So those are all different options that people have. So, well, Kerri, I sure appreciate you joining me today for this, and hopefully people will get some good information out of it, and ask more questions of their surgeon when they say you need a joint replacement, and have conversations with their physical therapist and have conversations with their surgeons, and just make sure you're very aware of your options before you go in there and have them change that joint. So, all right. Well, thank you very much.
All right. Thank you.